Annoyance and anger festered and whirled together in unison. The longer she waited, the more the storm grew. Aurora had spent many days figuring out a way to destroy Lady Lilac and her galaxy once and for all. But problem after problem kept arising and made all this needlessly difficult. The main problem standing in her way was the fact that Aurora, her sisters, the entire galactic bubble of the Celestial Symphony was a secret to the universe. Not one living soul knew of their existence. This meant they could not simply march on over to the Galaxy of Harmony and remove it from sight without risking everything they had built. This led to Aurora sending her factories and its workers into overdrive to try and find a solution to this growing annoyance. Many lesser forms tried to suggest ideas to Aurora, but any she deemed as ineffective saw those lesser forms removed from existence, their very mind, soul and body eradicated with the wave of a hand. Aurora had confined herself to her private chambers, her head racked with ways to come up with an idea, but coming fruitless every time. That was until 3 silent knocks were heard coming from her door. At first, she ignored them, not wishing to speak with anyone, but then they happened again and again and again, until finally Aurora marched over to her door and opened it with great force, the door nearly torn from its position, her eyes seeded with rage as they look on to see who was disturbing her. But soon her eyes quickly faded from anger into slight surprise. It was her sister, Helena, asking if they could come inside to talk. Aurora was a second away from turning her away and asking to be left alone, but her own mental strength had caved in, and so she invited her inside. Aurora's room was outfitted and carved with every rare and precious gemstone known in the universe. A faint blue light hung in the room as the starlit galaxy shone through the windows, casting onto every surface. It was a sight to behold, and only 2 people throughout the entire universe had ever seen it. Helena asks how she was feeling. Aurora was reluctant to share her feelings, only answering that she was fine and that she was merely fatigued from her duties. But before Helena could ask if that was really the issue, Aurora demanded to know that if she only came to speak about their feelings, then she can leave now. Helena frowned slightly. She was hoping to get closer with her sister to see if she could offer her help, but any chance of that happening was thrown out the window. Instead, she proposes an idea for Aurora about the thorn in her side that was Lady Lilac. She says that if Lilac could have her own galaxy to do with as she pleases, then why couldn't she? Aurora turns around in confusion. She already has a galaxy, that being the Celestial Symphony. Helena shakes her head and tells her to make a new galaxy, one separate from their home and one that could live within the universe without the wider universe garnering suspicion about their existence. Aurora's expression then turns to intrigue as she asks her sister to explain her idea further, adding on that it would be a simple species, one with the sole existence to seek out a new home from their own and destroy it over time. This way, not only would they rid the universe from the filth that plagues Aurora's domain, but it would also keep their home a secret. The universe would be none the wiser. Aurora turns back. She doesn't say much, but she thanks her sister for the advice and then promptly asks them to leave. As Helena stands up and walks toward the door, she silently turns back to her sister, the same frown still upon her face as she feels disappointed that she could not break through her sister's barrier. And with that, she leaves. Aurora is now left alone. Silence swarms over her as she ponders. The past few days of mental anger had proven tiresome. Nevertheless, she has finally found her answer as she collapses back upon her bed behind her, resting her eyes as a smile crept upon her face.